Hello, Phil here from Wings of Pegasus, and welcome to another analysis video. On the agenda tonight, we have Alvin Lee, and this is coming all the way back from 1969, Woodstock, and he's going to be performing I'm Going Home. So let's get Alvin up on screen and see how he gets on.
My baby, oh, my baby, oh, my baby, rock on. My baby, take my baby life.
I'm just going to stop it at that point because just in that little spell of lead guitar, you can tell that Alvin's just such an amazing technical player. He had little lines in there, really kind of fast lines, almost like applying a country technique to those blues lines. You know, really cool stuff in there. And also there's kind of a mini sweep going on as well. So, I mean, this is 1969 and he's kind of introducing these techniques that mostly would come up in the mid-80s. A lot of people would have been looking at Alvin and kind of looking back over what he played and how he played it and his techniques, and kind of just used those techniques, or at least kind of then incorporated that into their playing, because there's some really subtle technical playing here. It's one of those things that, like that, it can just flash by and then he's back into his vocal and back into his rhythm. But if you just kind of rewind it and have a little listen to the technicality of what's going on there, it's really impressive, great technical playing. And like I always say, back in kind of the 60s and the 70s, their overdrive sound wasn't heavy at all by today's standards. So really cool first bit of lead. We're going to listen to a little bit more. What I'm going to do is cue it up to the next kind of section where we get to break down a little bit more into Alvin's lead. What I do like about this performance as well, it's like 11 minutes long, but they constantly change the dynamic, which I say about a lot of other bands as well. When you're playing with a really tight band, they can just change that dynamic as soon as they like, just, you know, straight away instantly change the dynamic, and that happens a lot in this track. But let's have a little look at a little bit more lead playing from Alvin.
Baby.
I'm just going to stop it there because this is just the guitar and, you know, a tiny bit of drums in the background. Anything that he's going to play is going to be really highlighted. Any little mistake that he might make as well is going to be highlighted because it's just him playing the guitar, but this is Alvin and he doesn't make mistakes. And some of the lines that he throws together, really accurate slides. And what I like right at the end of this phrase is that he's throwing in really controlled bends and picking out the pitches within the bends. And it's a really impressive technical approach to playing, especially back in 69, you know, really cool techniques on show here. If you're not concentrating, it'll pass you by, like how technical this is. And this is one of the things that all the top players do, is they play something that's actually really difficult to play, but you just listen to it because it doesn't sound difficult to play. And Alvin's certainly doing that here. And as you can hear, it's one of those situations where the dynamic has totally come down now, so that you can really start to kind of get into that lead playing, as I said, really crunchy tone. There's not a great deal of overdrive on there. Really cool playing, and it just leaves everything open to then start to build that dynamic towards the end of the song, and maybe kind of melt a few faces towards the end of the song as well. And you can really appreciate his playing just in this section, because it's just his guitar. There's no bass in there, there's no vocals, there's no keys. So yeah, it really, really shows his talent for lead playing. So there we go. Again, just a little snapshot of technique, and people that don't play guitar won't realize how difficult it is to kind of do that sweep technique and get all of those notes really nice and clear. And of course, being at Woodstock, it's not an enclosed venue. It's not like an arena, like you get the natural reverb in the space. Here at Woodstock, the sound's just going to come out, and it's just going to hit you in the face, and it's going to keep going behind you. It doesn't hit a wall and come back, and it doesn't reverberate around the room or around the arena. So the sound you're going to get is going to be really dry, just coming straight past you and then going off into the distance. So there's nothing here that's going to embellish the sound or make any bad playing sound any better. You've got to be at the top of your game and be really technically accurate to play these lines that Alvin's doing here. I'm just going to move it on now to slightly further on in the video to see if we can kind of hear that dynamic when it starts to kind of increase a little bit as well, and Alvin lets loose a little bit more. And there we go, and a really cool little bit of feedback Alvin got at the end and just held on to it. This is one of the things, again, about guitarists that just aren't afraid to go to the edge and push it right to the limit. And I always say that the best guitarists, the closer they get to that edge, the better they seem to get, the more full of emotion the guitar gets, and it is just that crescendo. It's all intentional. The great players always take you down in that dynamic, show you that quiet playing, really accurate, not a lot of, take a little bit of gain out of the sound, just reduce the volume on the guitar, and yeah, they just play some really nice clean stuff. But then by the end of the song, they're full out 100 miles an hour, just letting everything go. And Alvin's one of those players that he's got everything that you want. He's got that really quiet dynamic, and he can kind of take you on a journey to quiet places, and then he can just hit you right between the eyes with an amazing technical solo, amazing feel as well, and just totally up the dynamic, like here at the end, with some really energetic and awesome playing. Amazing stuff here from Alvin in 1969. Check out this whole video if you get a chance, just for a kind of lesson in that dynamics of how to really push forward and then totally pull back on the sound. Shout out to, on bass, we have Leo Lyons, who, yeah, just watch his hands going here. Just such an amazing walking bass line that he plays throughout this kind of whole track. So really impressive stuff. And also Rick Lee on the drums, and like I said earlier, we've got Chick Churchill, who's playing some keys, but you can't really hear them too much, so it does sound really like a three-piece here, but there are some keys in there in certain sections as well. But anyway, thank you so much for suggesting this video for me to take a look at. Let me know what you guys think in the comments below, and keep those suggestions coming. If you like this video, please give it a thumbs up and subscribe, and I will see you guys at the next one. Rock!